So as I start talking and you have a question, please raise your hands so that I can call you to make your needed contribution. Right. So as I have indicated, we are looking at these 4 learning outcomes. We are looking at recognizing advertising as a form of persuasion, which is very important. Understand the specific role of advertising in the marketing process. Identifying key historical moments of advertising industry development. Understand different types of advertising used by marketers. These are the key issues that we are looking at. So we'll start with promotion and advertising. When we talk about promotion, quickly, what should come to our mind is the 4 activities, in other words, the 4 P's that marketers use to maximize sales. These include the product price, the place, and then the promotion. Product price, the place, and then the promotion. These are 4 component activities. So when you hear of promotion, then you know that it is the 4th P of the 4 activities that are utilized in maximizing sales. So the 4th P we know is what is referred to as a promotion. When we talk about promotion, then what then do we mean? Promotion is all the activities or terms that include advertising, whatever you are going to do to communicate your product or brand to your consumers to buy. So all the terms, everything that includes advertising, public relations, sales promotion, and personal selling. You use all of these with the mindset or the intention to attract consumers or customers to your brand. It's referred to as promotion. And it is one of the most important or potent tools in the marketer's toolbox. So we know that there are 4 activities that marketers are engaged in utilizing to communicate their brand to consumers or to customers. And the 4th one is a promotion element. And you cannot try to maximize sales for your product or anything you come up with, you generate, without paying attention to promotion. When we talk about advertising, advertising seems to be a very complicated term. If you should ask advertising, it used to be, it can become a very complicated term if you want to define it. Advertising narrowly has always been regarded as the activities involving the utilization of the mass media, which you pay for and then strictly have to follow a particular order for your consumers to receive information or message about your product or your brand. That is the narrow definition of advertising. But if you want to talk about advertising, you have to look at advertising from the perspective of the consumer. How do consumers regard advertising? Right now, as you are here, you will not be able to differentiate between what is paid for and what is not paid for. So to the consumer, anything, everything is advertising. Anything, everything is advertising. It is advertising. Whether it is paid advertising, whether it is product placement, whether it is public relations, whether it is sales promotion, whether it is a robocall, whether it is any other thing that a marketer would do to sell their brand, it is advertising. That's to the consumer. So, look at this. Anything we are seeing here is saying something. It is communicating something. Anything you are seeing here is communicating something. What is it communicating? The consumer, the customer is receiving a message from this. So all of these, that can the consumer tell the difference between which one is paid for and which one is not paid for. That is why if we define advertising as something, the activity involving the utilization of the mass media, which we pay for and strictly have to fit into a particular order, that is a very narrow perspective, because the consumer cannot be able to tell the things they see as this one is paid for or not paid for. Anything they see at all, it is advertisement. Anything at all. So then, how then do we define advertising? So we can say advertising is a sponsored media message, intended to persuade you to think, do, or buy something. Almost anything you do to persuade people. So please take note of these definition. Anything called anything you are doing to persuade people is advertising. Anything you are doing to persuade people is advertising. So then we say it is a sponsored media message. Whether you've paid for it or not, it's still sponsored because it belongs to a particular brand. The intention is you want to persuade somebody, not just persuading the person without any tangible reason, but you persuade the person to think about it, or to think of it, or to do something, or to buy something. That is what we are doing. That is the aim of this message. So, as I've said, anything you do to persuade people to act, whether to do, to buy, or to think about something, is referred to as what? Advertising. So, with this definition in mind, if I should ask you, I believe all of you have heard of Amazon.com. Amazon. Has everyone heard of Amazon.com? Richard, have you heard of Amazon.com?
Yes, sir.
What about, yes, okay, Ofori, how about you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then let me ask those on the Google Meet. Jeffrey, have you heard of Amazon.com?
Yes, sir.
Immaculate, what about you?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. David, what about you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So if I ask you to define Amazon.com, what will you say? What is Amazon.com? What will you say? Let me have your response. What is Amazon.com?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Immaculate, please go ahead.
Yes, sir, it's a platform whereby people buy their products. They have different, let's say, departments. First, some people sell clothes, foodstuffs, and other things for people to shop there.
Okay. Okay. So it's a platform where people go to sell. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Immaculate. Yes. Can I hear from the rest of us? Richard, Ofori, Leslie, David. Yes. Yes. Can I hear from you? Please let me hear from the rest of you.
Sir, please, it's a page or a platform where people go and advertise their products for other people to buy from them.
It's a page or platform. Okay. Where other people go to advertise for people to buy from them. All right. But somebody owns it. So how is it a page or platform that others go there to advertise? You see that as you are here right now, you can go there and advertise. I want to understand.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
it's an e-commerce platform owned by Amazon, which allows third-party sellers to advertise their products for local buyers get access to that product.
Okay, so when you talk about e-commerce platform, what do you mean?
So it's like an electronic market or something.
Electronic market or something. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. Can I hear from the rest of you? Yes. Yes, David, may I hear from you? It is important when I ask you a question, you respond. Very, very important. Respond to the question. Give me your views. Very important. Yes, so David, may I hear your view? You have your views.
So please, it's American American technology used to advertise. So that is like if you want to say a product.
So Amazon is an American technology used to market a product. Okay, thank you very much. Richard, what do you have to say? Richard.
Sir, please, is a platform that is used for buying and selling.
Mm-hmm. What kind of platform is that?
The market platform.
Okay. So it's a market platform. Okay. Thank you very much. Used for selling and buying. Okay. Who else? Let me go to not who else. Leslie. Yes, let me hear from you. What is Amazon.com?
Say, I spoke already.
Okay.
It's Prince Ofori that hasn't spoken.
Ofori, Prince. Yes. Prince Ofori, let me hear from you. Prince Ofori. All right. So do your best to be contributing in the class because it will help you yourself. Okay. Immaculate has typed something. She said it's a website where marketers use to sell and advertise their products to create an awareness. Thank you. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Thank you very much. Okay, so these are the definitions so far or explanations so far offered by you. I'm so grateful. Right. So if we talk about Amazon.com, simply it is just collection of ads. It's a collection of adverts, collection of ads. You are not the one who go there to advertise. A third party cannot go there and advertise, but rather they are advertising for you. They collect adverts, right? Ads from different, whether from books. They started with books. Today they sell virtually everything in the world. Everything, virtually everything in the world. Whatever you want to see, you will see it there. Right. So it's simply a collection of ads. You will see the ads for books, ad for phones, ad for even motivational speakers, ad for banners, ad for currencies, ad for virtually everything. All right, let's take 1 minute to do a brief exercise. Use a browser, type in Amazon.com, and then let's see what happens there. So do that quickly. Just type in Amazon.com. Browse it right now. Let's go to Amazon platform. And then, yes, if you are there, what do you see? What do you see? When you type in Amazon.com into your browser and you entered, what do you see? What gadgets do you see? What materials do you see? What resources do you see? Yes.
I see a couple of phones and then health and beauty products.
Okay, so you see a couple of phones, health and beauty products, and then
Popular gifts in
Pop-
camera.
popular gifts in camera. That's beautiful. So click on any one of your choice. Yes, any other person, just click on any one of your choice. You can even click through and see something and see what information pops up about this. Yes, any other person, David, Jeffrey, Ofori, Leslie, and Richard. Yes, let me hear from you. What do you see? Please, we should all be on the same page so that we can move quite faster. Hello.
So me, I clicked on some baby products, and I'm seeing feeding bottle and that seat that is sitting there, some plenty things.
Please be specific. We are not doing plenty things. We are learning something. We are looking at the practical issues. So these are practicals, very practical scenarios that we are emphasizing. So it's important to be discussive. Don't dismiss anything. Anything you see, talk about it and let us know. For instance, you saw this. These are the things you saw. You click on this. You saw A, B, C, D. When you click on this, you will by all means see a price. You will see if, for instance, your platform, your location is showing, they will tell you, okay, where you are, we can ship it to you this number of days, and then you will get it so and so and so and so. So these are the information I want from you. So pour out those information. Don't dismiss anything. Yes, so let's go.
Yeah, so when I press on one product, they asked me for the quantity I want. They showed me the prices. Yeah.
So wait, what product is it?
The baby seat.
Baby.
The one that they put the baby seat inside.
Oh, okay. The baby seat. Okay, all right. And then you click on it, and then the first thing you see is what price.
Yeah, and the quantity that I want, I
The
can.
quantity you want. If you enter, you so what you saw is price. As for quantity, it depends on you. Price, and if you are, if a delivery is supposed to be made to you, if for instance we're buying it today, you can see all of those information.
May 3rd to 12th, I can get it.
Okay, so if you should order it today, between May 12th, May 3rd,
to 12th.
May 3rd and May 12th, you should get it within that period. So they have given you a range of period that within which you can get the material. Thank you so much. So there's a 50% discount.
Yeah.
That is when you are buying it when?
If I'm buying it today.
If you are buying it today. All right. That's excellent. Some of you will understand some of these things very, very, very soon. So you see, Amazon is advertising to you, has collected ad. Amazon doesn't have those things. They haven't built a store to keep all of those items that you are seeing on their platform or on their website. They haven't built a store to keep all of that. They actually don't have them. But they collect these ads and they are running the adverts for the companies, for the brands, for the products. So if a consumer goes online and check for the products, okay, I want this, then Amazon will say, oh, okay, if you want it, let's search for it for you. They search for it, give you the amount it will cost, and then they will tell you if you order, we arrange it and give it to you at this time. So the moment you order, then Amazon will also order for the product to be sent to you. And then they collect the money, they get their share, and they move on. That's how they make their profits. So it is not like Amazon is doing something extraordinary from which they are building their billions. No, they only market for people. You buy it, you click on it, say, I want it. The Amazon will look for the product and ship it to you. Then they ship it to you. You are paid, they get their commission, or they get their money, their value from it. And the company also get theirs. This is all that Amazon is doing. That is why we say Amazon is simply what? A collection of adverts. So if you go and you watch an advert and you are convinced by it, and you click on it to buy, Amazon will quickly look for that particular product and send it to you. If it is book, the same thing. If it is that, the same thing. Yes, may we hear from others? Yes, David and Jeffrey. Yes, what have you seen? What have you noticed?
Sir,
Yeah.
I saw a smart thermostat.
Okay.
After clicking, it took me to another page where the price was shown,
Okay.
the delivery date,
Mm-hmm.
and I was asked for the quantity,
Okay.
and I was asked whether to add to chat or to buy.
Okay. Right.
I was also told some. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Please go ahead. Go ahead. Wait.
Okay. There's a short. I don't know whether it's a video,
Mm-hmm.
but it shows how the product is used.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good. So you see, they are running the advert for the company, and then so Jeffrey, for instance, I found thermostat on the Amazon platform, and when he clicks on it, it takes him to the price, gives him the price, and even the product features. There's a video attached that displays the product features, and even the products used, all of that are disclosed. Thank you so much. The delivering date and all of that. So if you go ahead and pay, then the rest will be done for you. Thank you so much. So Jeffrey, you may mute yourself. Any other person? David, Leslie, Richard. All right. So that is about, yes. Yes, I'm listening to you.
Sir, please. I saw a mobile phone.
A mobile phone. Okay.
Yes. So when I clicked, it took me to another page and they showed me the price and the days they'll be delivering it.
It showed you the price and then the date they'll be delivering
Yeah,
it.
Yes, sir.
That's great. That's great. So these are the things that you need to note. I don't know why those of you on the teams, you are leaving to Google Meet. Let me tell you, Google Meet is noisy. It's better you remain on your teams. I don't know why, sorry, why you have to also leave there, come here. Hey, I'm on for this table now. Be stable at one place. It will help. Okay. So that is exactly so as David has indicated. So now you have understood when we talk about advertisement, is anything marketers are doing, anything they are doing to persuade people to buy, to think about something, to consider something, to do something. Anything they are doing to persuade you, anything they are doing to persuade you is advert. All right. So now we want to look at advertising into some details. So when we come to advertising, I want to find out from you, what does advertising do for brands? Advertising, what does it do for brands? Advertising, what does it do for brands? So let me hear from you. You can even type if you wish. You can type. What does advertising do for brands? Don't forget, right from the beginning, when we were looking at businesses as brands, businesses of brands, we saw the three key people involved in building brands. This involves the manufacturer or the marketer, the brand agency, or the advertising agency. These are the three main groups involved in building brands. So you see, now we know them, but that is not it all. We have to now move into it and look at it and say, yeah. So if they are building brand, this is A, B, C, this is how it happens. That's how it goes. That's what we are looking at now. So what does advertising do for a brand? Yes, my people. Yes, go ahead. It is important if you are all contributing, okay? It reinforces your own understanding rather than getting sets of notes to go and memorize.
Sir,
Yes, Richard.
please,
Mhm.
advertising helps brands to grow quickly.
Advertising helps brands to
Yes.
grow quickly. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Any other view?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
advertising creates awareness of the product.
Advertising creates awareness of the product. Excellent. Very, very true. Yes. So please, you can be writing those points down. Okay. So there are 5 things that advertising do for brands. As Jeffrey has mentioned, it builds awareness. Advertising builds awareness. People become aware. Through advertising, you can have people become aware of your product, your brand, etc. Advertising creates an image for the brand. So that image stays in people's mind. Today, if you are moving anywhere, you see Central University logo. You see the logo anywhere, you know this is Central University. You know quickly, this is Central University. And you see any other university, you know quickly, unless maybe you don't know about them. Then you say you don't know about them. This is my first time seeing it. But you see Central University anywhere, the logo alone, even without hearing anything, the logo alone, you know that this is Central University. Because through advertising, this has been positioned in your mind. An image has been created for that brand in you. Again, advertising provides information to a target audience. So there's an information you want your consumers or customers or the particular target audience within a particular market. You want them to hear, and you are communicating that information. Advertising is what helps you to do that. Advertising persuades consumers of the brand's benefit. So through advertising, people or consumers or customers will become convinced that, hey, this brand has this benefit. Why don't I go for it? Why would many people long to have iPhone or have Apple product or use a certain product or particular perfumes or particular hair product and etc.? It is because of what advertising has done. That's persuaded them about the brand's benefit, and they are always looking for it. They go to the market, they don't get it, they won't buy anything else. They'll go back until they get it. Advertising provides incentives to buy the brand now. For example, I don't know if it's let me see who actually made the is it Ofori or David? I think no, it's David. So David spoke of buying the product now. Is it David? David, were you the one who told us that there's a 50% discount if you were to buy it now? Or is Richard? Okay.
So it's me.
Okay, all right. So it's Leslie. So Leslie did that. Right. So advertising does that is what it does. It provides an incentive. So that's an incentive that is being provided to you to buy. Hey, Charlie, buy it now. You'll get 50% incentive. And you look at the price, okay? So maybe, probably, Leslie, what was the price of the product that you looked at? What was the price? Leslie,
$119.
$119, $119. And then you have been promised, if you were to buy it now, you'll get 50% discount. So 50% discount, you divide it in two, then you know what you are going. That is not up, it's just a little about $60. So somebody look at this incentive of buying it now, they'll go ahead and buy it. That's what advertising do. So guys, advertising has lot of benefits to offer. Advertising can also reinforce past purchases to build loyalty among customers for a brand. So for instance, somebody bought something, bought a particular product from a brand or etc. in the past. Through advertising, the person can become a loyal customer and say, look, what I bought, yes, it was good. Now I am also hearing more about it in the advert. It can automatically make people hook on to the product and want to have it at all times. Now, let me ask you a question. What makes an ad effective or ineffective? What makes an advert effective or ineffective? Can I hear from you? What makes it effective or ineffective? Yes. We know that advertising is doing something to do what? To persuade consumers, to act, to do, to buy, etc. So if I ask you what makes an advertising effective or ineffective, what will you like to say?
Sir,
Yes.
Whether the advert or the ad contains much information the audience needs. Yes, that's.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I think that is an excellent response. Any other person?
Okay, so whether it's getting the attention of the people, because adverts is supposed to get people to buy the product. So whether it's getting the attention of the people to come for the product or something.
Exactly. Exactly so. So what about if it is not effective? So you have told us if it is effective. So what about if it is not effective? Yes, go ahead. Yes, please, kindly go ahead. Uh-huh.
Then if it's not effective, then we know that people are not coming for people are not buying the product that you are bringing out to advertise, or the brand that you are bringing out. People are not consuming it.
Okay. Okay. So that is a very good yardstick because you are studying advertising. You are a marketing student. In the future, you may probably work with an organization who will want you to work, maybe probably in the advertising community. How are you going to position your product for them? And when you run an advert, you should be able to measure whether the advert you have run is actually effective or ineffective based on the objectives that you have set. Because before you even advertise, you have certain objectives set that you want to meet. So after you've run you have run the advert, you have to weigh whether those objectives have been met. If they are met, then of course you say the advert we did was effective. If they were not met, then you know that the advert we ran was actually a cost for us. We got nothing from it. Very, very, very important. So these are the things that we are looking at. So for an ad to be effective, it actually means that the advertising has separated the particular brand from others in the mind of the consumers. Now, can you confuse Central University with another university as the same, or you can separate Central University from the rest of the universities? If it is difficult to separate Central University from the rest of the university through an advert, it means that that advert wasn't effective. So an effective advertising should be able to separate a particular brand from all others in the mind of the consumer. So a particular brand, if it is a soap, from all soap brand, let's say for instance, you are advertising for Ivory soap. Ivory soap was first advertised in 1879 by Procter and Gamble. You will get to know much about them later. By Procter and Gamble. That was when it was first advertised. And that was the first advertisement in public by Procter and Gamble, Ivory soap. Now, what we want to find out is the Ivory soap that has been advertised, has it been separated in the minds of the consumers? Has it stood out in their minds? when you put all soaps together, has it stood out in the minds of the consumer? Now, effective advertising should be able to create a memorable impression, memorable impression of the brand. And it should be able to influence consumers to purchase your brand over all others. So if none of these is happening, of course, that advertising is not effective. It means one, advertising is not separating the brand in the mind of consumers. It is not creating a memorable impression of the brand, and it is not influencing consumers to purchase the brand over all others. Then we'll say that ad is not effective, or it is ineffective. These are some of the things that you need to look at. So if you are talking about effective or ineffective advertising, that is it. Now, advertising did not just come into being. Broadly, if we have to talk about advertising or the history of advertising, we can say that advertising has been with the human race right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. Now look at the serpent, the snake in the Garden of Eden. Those of you who have heard the Bible story about Adam and Eve falling away because the snake ran a very effective advert. So look at what the snake did. If you should look at advertising, effective advertising as one, separating the brand in the mind of the consumer. That is the first thing. Two, creating a memorable impression of the brand and influencing the consumer to purchase. Then we can say that the first effective advert was run by the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Okay, that was very effective advert. But advertising as a whole discipline and a science and practice on its own has been in existence for the past 300 years. It has been in existence for the past 300 years. The first newspaper advert was run in 1704. 1704. The first advertising agency was Warner Palmer. And Warner Palmer was established in Philadelphia in the US in 1843. The first newspaper advert actually appeared in 1704. And the first advertising agency was established in 1843. That is Warner Palmer. You can find out online and check if I am right or not. Can check that. Okay. And then the first advertising copywriter was John Wanamaker in 1880. And Procter and Gamble, the world's largest advertiser today, and they placed the ad for ivory soap in the 1882. Is it 1882 that I mentioned earlier? 1879. Okay. So the first advertising slogan, have you heard of the first advertising slogan from National Biscuit Company, Nabisco? What was the first? You can Google, you can find out right now. Tell me the first advertising slogan in the world. What is it? Because everything I'm saying, you can find it online. You can find the information there. Right. What was the first advertising slogan? Hey, Amanfo, are you with me? Okay. So the first advertising slogan was actually from National Biscuit Company, Nabisco. And it appeared in 1898. The slogan was, lest you forget, we say it yet, in neither biscuit. And then the first pre-recorded TV commercial, yes.
Is that the first advertising slogan?
What have you found?
There's see Beechem pills,
Which year?
1859.
Well, Beechem what?
Pills.
Pills.
Yes, please.
Okay. Because they have not done their recording effectively. What I found was rather from Nabisco. That was 1898. All right, so we'll go with yours. So that was the first advertising slogan. And is that it was for what? Yes. For what product?
What a kidney box. That's
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so thank you. And then the first pre-recorded TV commercial was aired in 1956. 1956. Then, following the early 20th century, that was when newspapers began to spread from country to country. And today, newspapers are everywhere. Today, you have thousands upon thousands of printed magazines, online ones, newspapers, online ones. Now, you look at even our local, our national newspapers. Most of them are online today. Talk about graphic, the graphic has online version right now as we speak. And things continue to change. We have radio stations. How many radio stations do you think we have in Ghana? How many radio stations do you think we have in Ghana? You are advertisers, so most of these things, I know you have the information. Yes. Any idea?
684.
Okay, in Ghana, radio stations,
Yes, sir.
684. Okay, that's a lot too. Hey, then Ghana has a lot of radio stations like that. Okay, who else has found something? Who else has found something? Radio stations in Ghana. Okay. Yes. You don't like talking. All right. Today we have thousands upon thousands of radio stations all over the world. Thousands. We have the online, we have radio stations, we have online, we have several thousand television stations. The internet is also over 1.5 billion. Okay, I want us to confirm how many websites do we have currently as at the end of 2021? How many of websites do we have all over the world? For radio stations in Ghana, we have 131. Okay, 131 radio stations in Ghana. And I can mention a lot from country to country. Some countries have 2,000, some countries have 5,000. Which country is this? Brazil, 5,000. You have Colombia alone, 1,000 something. UK, you have France, 2,500. You have Germany, 4,600 radio stations. And then all over. You have Italy, 1,300 and something. And some countries, they have only two. For instance, Lao People's Democratic, they have only two. And a place like Congo, Dr. Congo, they have only one radio station. Micronesia, one. Some countries have one. Some countries have as much as 10,000, 14,000, etc. So the Republic of Congo has just one radio station. Samoa one radio station. Spain has 1,600, etc., 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 etc. And then the USA has over 10,000, 10,400 radio stations. Yes. I asked a question. Have you found it? How many websites do we currently have as at the end of 2021?
Sir,
Yes.
1.17 billion.
1.17 billion. 1.17 billion.
Yes, sir.
Okay, website. So what is it telling you? It is telling you the rate at which adverts, the shape at which the advert is taken in our world today. So the business of advertising is getting more chaotic because the new media vehicles, as they are being created and they are increasing, it means that to be a very effective advertising agency or specialist, you have to do a lot of things to stand out in that regard. Advertising is significant. So let me give you a website. Facebook alone, if you look at the number of Facebook users, is amazing. It's amazing. Let me share that link with you if you want to see very active users of Facebook. Let me place it on your WhatsApp page. Active users of Facebook. So this is for as at the end of 2019. So currently it would have increased. So we come to advertising. It's a phenomenal, it's an interesting area of promotion. It's interesting. And agencies are pumping in millions upon millions. Millions upon millions. So if you want to see the trend, we have the marketing fat packs. So when we go to the marketing fat packs, you will find the trend of advertising, how it is going. The marketing fat pack. Let me post that link for you to follow up. Please, the links that I'm sharing with you, do your best to follow them, because I'm not just teaching you a set of theories, but I'm giving you very practical scenario on the ground that should help you to do much, to be able to note or know what is prevalent. Okay, so very important. Right. Any question? So if you check on the marketing fat pack, you will see the companies that are investing so much into advertising. In 2020, coronavirus year, marketers actually estimated to spend 628 billion alone on advertising, which was about 5.1% increase from 2019. The United States remains the largest advertising market in the world. The United States, they remain the largest advertising market in the world at $254 billion just in 2020 alone. So guys, this is a ripe community that you find yourself. Advertising is a huge area of importance. So please, you're not learning this just to get grades and go, but you can function, you can begin to think constructively about business around this particular area. And I've told you that the largest advertiser in the world is Procter and Gamble. The Procter and Gamble, they invested $10 billion between 2018 and 2019. They invested $10 billion into advertising. And if you talk about Comcast, the Comcast is the largest advertiser, and they spend $6.1 billion within the same period. Procter and Gamble, the same as Procter and Gamble, Comcast together, they invest so much in variety of brands. I gave you a material book to read, and I gave you a particular page to read, and you came across Geico. Geico is the single most advertised brand in the United States, and they spent about 1.5 billion in 2018. So there are brands who are into serious advertisement. So if you place yourself well and take advantage of this particular industry, Charlie, you are going to be well placed. Amazon did it, and they have distinguished themselves. And today, Jeff Bezos is one of the leading billionaires in the world. They've made so much money, they don't even know what to do with the money. Now, all of them are venturing into space. All of them are venturing into other areas. They've made so much money. Jeff Bezos just say, I'm going to use the internet to sell books. And people were laughing at him. They were laughing at him. But before they realized, Jeff Bezos had collapsed the postal industry. He has collapsed almost on the industries that were standing. And everybody's attention is on Amazon now. So that is how the life is. So let's think through and see what we can do. If you have a question, please ask whilst I allow some others in and see what to do. Yes, any question? Yes. Any question, guys? Okay, so that is about it. Then we come to the evolution of ad agencies. Ad agencies, the evolution of the ad agencies. And ad agencies have come around about 120 years now. 120 years, ad agencies. The evolution of the ad agencies. I want you to tell me something about them before we move on. Ad agencies and then client relationship. Let's do a little discussion on them. Yes. When we refer to ad agencies, what do we mean? And what do they do? Yes. All right. So ad agencies actually came into being, and they were run by account men. The vast majority at the time were men who were venturing into advertising. The account men, they went to secure business relationships, okay, and with a staff of a media planner, copywriter, and an ad department, then they created advertising, tooting a brand's unique selling proposition. They would toot a brand's unique selling proposition. When we talk about a unique selling proposition, we are referring to what distinguishes a brand from its competitors. What distinguishes a brand? Whether the brand and its product or services, or just the brand from its competitor. Either the competitor's brand or their products and services. So anything that distinguishes a particular brand from other brand, from a competing brand, is referred to as the unique selling proposition. An example of this is the Excedrin. Excedrin works faster than other aspirin because it contains caffeine. So if you go online, you check about Excedrin, and then you check also about aspirin, you look at the efficiency level and what distinguishes them. Okay. So marketers at the time did not pay directly for their services. Okay. So in the past, they did not pay directly for their services. So agencies were paid a standard 15% commission by the media vehicles they chose to run their ads on. So let's say, for instance, there's an agency who had developed all of these portfolio. What is the portfolio? They try to build a business relationship with a media planner, okay, a copywriter, and then an ad department. And then they create a particular advertising message to toot a particular brand's unique selling proposition When they do that, and then they run it, let's say on GTV, GTV will charge, okay? GTV is going to charge the cost of the advertisement. So let's say they are going to charge for the total cost for a particular 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or 1 year. They will charge for it. So when they charge for it, probably it's about hundreds of millions or millions of cities. What will happen is that after they charge, they will give a 15%, okay, of the commission to the media to the agency. The agency will be paid by the media vehicle that they choose to run on. But today the story is different, because if an ad agency decides to run an advert for you on social media, who is going to pay them? So this time, ad agencies are involved in charging for their market value. They are involved in that. For marketers. But the story is no longer the same as I have just told you. And don't forget this, the landscape for advertising continues to change, and it will continue to change the more. Then after the ad agency had come, what followed was the creative revolution. The creative revolution was when now brands began to see that, hey, we can actually tell a story about our brand and get people create a memorable impression in people, in consumers, or in the target market to actually look for our brand or buy our brand. So that is when creative revolution comes in. Now, as I've told you, you will have a copywriter. It's more like a whole industry where you have a team, maybe a team preparing for a movie, right? You see what goes into a movie production from one stage to the other, from recording and exit, all of that will be employed. And normally they will use these popular figures. Let's look at Ghana, for instance. Let's take High Sense. When it comes to High Sense, who are some of the celebrities that are used to tell their story? Can you tell me about it? High Sense. If you have watched any High Sense advert, who are some of the celebrities that have been utilized to run the adverts for them? Nana Mama Brown, right?
Yes.
So anytime you see High Sense, the impression created is that you have stars like Nana Brown actually using the product. So it creates a memorable impression about the product in consumers' mind. That is the revolution. That is the period. And these actually started in the 1960s. And in our country, it is really right. You can see celebrity endorsements and all of these ongoing. Talk about Farmwork. Farmwork, who are some of the, who are some of the popular figures or celebrity figures that are used? Farmwork. Hello. Charlie, do you people watch adverts? Okay, you share with me what you have, what you know. Share with me what you know. Popular figures.
So I remember one advert I watched was the day I
Okay, the day are you.
Yes.
All right. So they decide to use the day are you. Please, when you finish submission, you mute yourself. They decide to use the day are you because as a footballer, you know, children like football. They use the day are you as a popular figure who plays football. Very popular for that sense. To run that, it creates a memorable impression in the minds of the consumers, especially children. These farm yoga, whatever related product, they are largely consumed by younger people, very young people. Okay. Yes, any other experience you can share with me?
Yeah, and so some detergent soaps too.
Give us
Yes,
an example.
some detergent soaps. Yeah, with the advert, I've been seeing as some and also advertising it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we call the creative revolution. using iconic figures to run adverts. Iconic. So we even call it iconic advertising. You can see those of you who are a bit older, probably you might have chanced on watching an advert for cigarettes. That is the Marlboro cigarette. The Marlboro cigarette was advertised by Leo Bennett Company, and they used some iconic figures to run it. Very effective. If you think of Kellogg Company that sells cereals, and you watch the advert on Tony the Tiger. I don't know if any of you have seen that advert before. Tony the Tiger. Tony the Tiger. Very effective adverts where you have Gary Moore say to the tiger, wouldn't they tell even you, Tony? Because Tony is the tiger, and then Gary Moore was interacting with Tony, who is the tiger. Wouldn't they tell even you? It was a very effective advert. So that particular cereal sold a lot and continued to sell. It has been distinguished in the minds of people all over the world. Any of you have seen it before. Most of you, you like toffee related and then oil related, buffalo and then bread and etc. So some of these things I'm talking about, they look quite strange. Anyway, life continues. So advertising agencies, when they were flourishing at the time, the same thing also gave the opportunity for the creative industry. Now popular figures also getting themselves involved in advertising. And today it has taken a new shape. Today, you can even have an ad agency putting all of these together, including using or utilizing an iconic figure to put out a very serious market advertising message for a particular brand or product. All right, let's look at the holding company. If you have heard of the holding company, when we refer to holding company, what does it mean? Holding company. Because in advertising, we have the holding companies. When we talk about the holding company or a holding company, what does it mean? Yes, a holding company. Please, if I ask you a question you don't know, you can search, right? You can search and respond because it's very important to interact. It also shows that you are also interested in the topic and you are willing to provide a kind of information or try to provide a view about an information you have chanced on. Very important. Okay, whether you are reading from a source, you are whatever, it doesn't matter. It is part of the contribution. But I don't want you to be in the class where I will have to talk throughout. This is this, this is that, this is this, this is that. It doesn't help. Okay. Yes, when we talk about holding company, what does it mean? A holding company. Hello. So a holding company can be a company that owns several other subsidiary companies, okay, operating in different places. That's a holding company. The first of these is what I've just shown you, the Saatchi and the Saatchi Holding Company. It actually was begun by two brothers, Maurice and Charles Saatchi. That is why it is Saatchi and Saatchi, because that's their surname. Their surname is Saatchi. So Maurice and Charles, they actually started it from 1975. So they began an aggressive growth strategy to acquire other larger agencies to increase the size and scope of their agency. So they continue to amass several other agencies big enough, and then to popularize their product and advertise for companies. So in 1986, Just at the age of mere 16 years after opening their doors, the brothers actually became the topmost or the largest advertising agency in the world. They became the largest. And what actually gave them that popularity, that breakthrough, started from 1978 when they began advertising for political parties, and they began staging a conservative party candidate, Margaret Thatcher. He was one time a UK or a British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher. Most of you might have heard of her, a woman. Most of you might have heard of her. I don't know if any of you have heard of Margaret Thatcher before. Anybody? Anybody? Actually, you guys are not reading. You have to read, especially those of you ladies in the class. You have to read, Charlie. Read and then try to widen your scope of understanding about other ladies or women who have gone ahead and have stood out. Those things could actually encourage you a lot, help you to motivate you to move a step further. So they actually staged her, marketed Margaret Thatcher, and then she won the election. That was how come the Saatchi and Saatchi agency became topmost, because they became a preferred brand. Selling a whole person to become a prime minister was a whole game changer for the industry. So that was the beginning of the holding companies. And these has grown, even though later on their fortunes began to fall and they lost their market share. Eventually, they remained the forerunner. They remained the forerunner of the holding company or advertising holding companies in the world. Today, we have several other holding companies. These include the YPP, Omnicom, Publicis, and then Interpublic. So all of these four companies that I have mentioned, they are holding companies having huge subsidiaries, right, functioning under them. And it first began with who? The Saatchi and Saatchi. They were the first to have started a holding company in that regard. So YPP, for instance, have subsidiaries in Africa, a lot of them. They have subsidiaries in Africa. I think they have one in Ghana. And then Publicis also have subsidiaries. They actually own subsidiaries almost everywhere on the planet Earth. They have subsidiaries everywhere. And these subsidiaries are also huge companies that are operating under them. We have the Interpublic, we have the Omnicom. All of these are working together. Example of the YPP holding company, they actually own the Saatchi and Saatchi company. Now, they eventually bought the Saatchi and Saatchi company and they run it. And don't forget, Saatchi and Saatchi used to be the holding company or the first prototype of holding companies in the 1980s. They were the first to actually market a political figure to stand out and win an election. Now, we talk about integrated marketing communication. Integrated marketing communication. If you talk about holding company, you cannot overlook what we call the integrated marketing communication. Now, the integrated marketing communication is actually a common sense idea. Common sense idea. This idea, common sense idea, actually showed up in the mid 1980s. So what the idea meant was that marketers or advertisers or these companies, promotion companies and etc., they coordinated every piece of communication. They coordinated every piece of communication. If whether you wear a cap and then you put a writing on it, or you wore a t-shirt, a branded t-shirt, whatever it is, they are all information. They are all pieces of information. All of these being put together, packaging. Take your biscuit, how it is packaged, put together, all of them, everything, all of them, they are all pieces of information. Packaging, advertising, public relation, sales promotion, point of purchase, etc. All of them put together come to refer to as what we call the integrated marketing communication, meaning that All these pieces of communication channels have been put together. They have been coordinated together to help a brand sell itself, to help a brand distinguish itself. So everything would deliver a single brand image and message to maximize the impact of the brand's communication. And these are all working synergistically. All right. So if you put all of these together, they are communicating a brand image. So if you are using packaging, so let's take what biscuit? Let's take let's say which biscuit? Peck biscuit. Now, if you take Peck biscuit, now we have a new brand, a new packaging. It has a new. How many of you have seen the new Peck the pack, the new packaging pack? Peck biscuit. How many of you have seen it or know about it? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many of you have seen it? The Peck biscuit, or you don't eat Peck?
So we eat.
Yeah. Are you sure you eat it?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen that there's a difference in the packaging now? Or you have?
I have.
Okay. So that is a message. It's a communication channel. Packaging is a communication channel. So they used to have a particular wrapper and a particular design. They've changed that. And now they've made it so beautiful, having certain watermarks, yellow, having some kind of a yellow background, telling us that it is 16% extra what? Extra good. Extra what? Extra good. All of this is delivering a message. So packaging. So let's say they go ahead and place advertising. Peck also has advert running on TV. That, and then you come to public relations. Public relations. Then you also have sales promotion. You have point of purchase. All of these about Peck put together is referred to as what? The integrated marketing communication. It's a coordinated piece of communication. So all communication channels being coordinated together to communicate or to deliver a single brand image and message. Single brand image. Everything is talking about the same thing. Single brand image. And then a message to maximize the impact of their brand's communication channels. So every major marketer is practicing what? An IMC today. Every major marketer is practicing that. So when we talk about IMC, these are the types of the integrated marketing communication network or approach. All of these being put together. You have social media, you have the multimedia. So if you talk about multimedia in Ghana, when we talk about the multimedia, what are we referring to? The multimedia. We have a multimedia platform in Ghana. Is that not the case, or it is an imagination? Do we have that in Ghana? Why is the class silent and not responding? Then you have the email marketing, you have the print media and direct mail, you have the search, you have website, you have social share, you have videos, and you have the offline media. You talk about television and etc. Then you have public relations, you have blogs, you have your own customers themselves. Customers themselves are also a marketing approach. They are also carriers of messages, communication messages to the public. So that is about the integrated marketing communication. Today, we have entered into what we call the digital revolution. The digital revolution. We have moved from the ad agency. So advertising actually matured into formation of ad agencies, which were actually run by these account men. We know what it entails. And that also gave way to the creative revolution that we now entered into the holding company now that who created several other subsidiaries, owned them or bought them, all of them to function from maybe with to function maybe in different geographical communities or areas, from country to country or continent to continent. And we have 5 major holding companies in the world. They own all the big agencies that you can talk of around the globe. And all of these have also given way to what we call the digital revolution. Today, it's about the internet. Now, yes.
So under the IC, so can you say sponsorship is also part?
They are all part. They are all part. They are all communication channels. Welcome. I think even I have shown you here, or it's not on this. Okay, it's not here, but it's still part. Sponsorship is part. It's also a communication channel. All right. So now we have come to the digital revolution. Now all of these have been caught in a certain swell or whirlwind with the advent of the internet. Internet has changed almost everything around the globe. When advertisers used to sit in their comfort zones in their offices and spin themselves around in comfortable chairs and all of that, and felt comfortable, just listen, watch around on television, saw where they actually advertise, or the media tools or channels or vehicles that they use, they could actually monitor and see what was going on. All of these have changed. So when the internet actually came into being, many of them were overtaken. Many of them were actually left behind because they did not take advantage of the internet. Some of them just sat down cruising. Oh, what is this internet about? We are doing business, we are talking about internet. But the media began to spring and splinter all around into thousands of vehicles. When they have few radio stations to advertise on, now they have several radio stations to compete with online. If you have maybe Adom FM or you have Joy FM, that are equal, which you have to buy a music box to listen to. This time, you don't need that. You just pick your phone, go online, Google, I need a radio station to listen to. And you have a radio station to listen to without having to buy anything. So many of these advertising agencies and then professionals and specialists were thrown outside. They were overtaken because the landscape began to change, and it continued to even change today with the advent of technology. Now talk about television. All of the television advertising is good, but you have to do that alongside several major platforms, and you cannot replace them with the internet. Internet is now the way forward. So that was what gave birth to what we call the influencer marketing. The advent of the internet gave birth to what we call the influencer marketing. When we talk about influencer marketing, what do we refer to? Can you talk to me briefly? When you hear of influencer marketing, what is it? Yeah. Influencer marketing. Hello, are you with me? Influencer marketing. Are you guys with me? Hello.
Sir,
Yes.
it's a type of social media marketing that uses endorsement and product mention from influencers.
Influencers. So who are influencers?
So there are people who maybe a company or a brand sign them buy their product so that other customers can get influenced by the product.
What is the nature of these influencers?
To make other customers buy them. For example, if someone like the you endorsed by one yogurt or something, and the adverts is being shown on the television, more people are influenced to buy the one yogurt.
Okay. Rather is the other way around. When when the farmer decide to get the DIU to endorse, all right, for them, then that is where you go. All right. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Any other? Thank you very much. Leslie has a lesson. Jeffrey has given us a profound insight. Yes, influencer marketing. Any other view? Okay. So as I'm telling you or talking to you about the advent of the internet changing the landscape for advertising, so many things have changed. Today, we have certain individuals who have become online celebrities. And the moment you are talking about influencer marketing, you are talking about celebrity influencers. And these celebrity influencers, particularly using social media, example, YouTube in particular, then they cultivate their own audience. These influencers, they cultivate their own audience. They create content on the social media that people will subscribe to, and then they will follow. They'll subscribe and they will follow. Their audiences are not small numbers. They have huge following of millions. For instance, if you have heard of Felix Arvid Al Jalbert, he's a Swedish social media influencer. He's the foremost YouTube influencer or celebrity who has the highest number of followers. So let me just give you, I think I shared that link on your on the general platform. Share that link on the general platform, but let me try to put it here. You can follow the link and see. So the popular YouTube name, his popular YouTube name is the PewDiePie. PewDiePie. So you can click on it and you see the millions of followers that he has. So if a brand decide to have him advertise for them, all he needs to do is he endorse that product and run it, create a content for it, and that's it. That's it. That's it. He has more than 100 million subscribers. And when he posts his video, within an hour or two, he has more than 1.2 million, 2 million, 3 million people viewing within 1 minute, sometimes within 2 minutes. So researchers have found out that he makes not less than 12 million per year on YouTube alone. On YouTube alone. In Africa too, we have, even in Ghana, we have some guys who are making thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, a month on YouTube alone. Some of them are making over $30,000 a month. When you hear something like this, you go like, "Ush, so why am I wasting my time in school?" Some of them are in school and they have decided to build content on YouTube and change the dynamics. And they're having huge followers. Has anyone checked on the PewDiePie? PewDiePie has. What have you seen? What are the number of subscribers?
111 million subscribers.
111 million subscribers. Now check any of his video. You can see any recent video he has posted. Check if you can see any recent video he has posted.
Yeah, I have.
Good. In a minute or in an hour, how many people do you see viewing it? You see it
1.7 million viewers.
within how many minutes? Do you have any current video that you are looking at?
Yes, 6 days ago.
6 days ago. So he has 6 days ago. He has 11 days ago. He has 13 days ago. Then he has platform also only for members. Then the 3 days ago, caught in 4K or something. Have you seen that? 3 days ago. Caught in 4 days. He has 2.4 million views. So can you compare yourself with this? This is what we call the influencer marketing. They use social media to build their following and then build content, build their following, build an audience, and they advertise for companies and they make millions. Apart from benefiting from YouTube directly, For instance, he's making not less than $12 million directly from YouTube. Apart from that, he's not making income or getting income, money also from companies that he advertised for. So those of you who are thinking about becoming influencers, this is how it goes. This is how it has started. So you can see a few of them. Let's see the celebrities on Instagram, on Twitter, and etc. Who do you know? Who else do you know in this picture? Who do you know in this picture? Who do you see in this picture and recognize? Yes, I'm on for watch a lot of movies, but when I put something small there, then you're confused. Okay, let's go to Instagram followers. Kim Kardashian, for instance, how many followers does she have? How many followers does Kim Kardashian have on Instagram? Are you guys in the class? Leslie, are you in the class? Giselle, Richard, are you in the class?
Yes, sir, please,
Yes, sir, we are here.
So what is the reason why when I ask question, nobody responds? No, you don't respond, and then you don't even try to contribute. Jeffrey, Jeffrey, David, Immaculate, all of you. Why? Why is this so?
We are here, sir.
I am asking you a question, so don't tell me you are here. You being here, you are doing nothing for me. I ask you a question. I say, how many followers does Kim Kardashian have on Instagram? I'm teaching you. 305 million followers. 305 million. So now, imagine how much she makes. As of 2019, when please do not talk on the class platform, or I'll remove you from the class. Don't do that. As of 2019, when Kim Kardashian places an advert for a company, she takes up to $500,000. $500,000. So now that she has over 300 million followers on Instagram alone, so how much do you think she will now be taking from a company that seeks for her endorsement? Her sisters, or you talk about Cleo and the Courtney, they take half the amount their sister Kim Kardashian takes from companies. So while she was taking $500,000 from a company's advert for endorsement, the sisters were taking $250,000 each. These are not small monies. These are not small monies. So people are making real good monies out of their social media appearance. So as you were following them, and then they are dressing and etc., you are copying and etc., they are using it to make money. They are using those things to make money. What are you also using to make money? So think about that. So apart from these huge social media influencers, there are also those we call micro influencers. The micro influencers do not necessarily have those huge number of followers in millions. The micro influencers have followers between 1,000 and 10,000 followers. But it has social media marketers have found out that micro influencers sometimes tend to be more effective than the huge guys, in the sense that when they create content, they pay attention, they are constantly interacting with their audience. So when you advertise with them and on their platforms, you make it is more effective oftentimes than even those holding the huge platforms. So please note that the advertising landscape is continuing to change, and it will continue to change. It will increase, it will become messy. But one thing that will not change is the advertiser's job of selling. Remember, advertising aim at what? Selling goods, services, and ideas. This is what advertising is about. It is selling services, it is selling goods, it is selling ideas. That is advertising for you. That job is not going to change. It will remain the same, but the landscape will continue to change. If today we have social media growing at the stage at which it is going, today we have TikTok. You can even go on TikTok and check who are some of the leading influencers on TikTok and check the monies they are making per week, per month. Now you have this guy, this Ghanaian, the Bono guy who have been insulting leaders in America. What's the name? Chini Jonas. Those things they are doing, it is to make money. So do not think that they are interested in the country. That is why they come parading themselves as social media activists for change. It is not true. They are looking for money. They are building content for money. And they have chosen the negatives because in advertisement, oftentimes, even in our world in general, negative things sell a lot. That is why today, if you can present a lady sensually in any manner, you are going to be selling and making money. Anything that is negative sells a lot. So they have chosen to go negative so that they can build content and then monetize it. So Chini Jonas and co, they are all monetizing their platforms. When Chini Jonas posts a message or he's doing a live message, within 1 minute, he has not less than 30,000, that is 30K, following him, listening. Sometimes 40, sometimes 50, sometimes 70K following him immediately, listen. And they will be constant, and you see the number increasing. You see the number increasing. I go there and watch those things for some of these reasons, teaching you and showing you how the landscape is going. So if you have Chini Jonas being employed by a particular brand to endorse their products for them, you can see the number of people that is going to view it, the number of people that are going to be influenced to or persuaded to act, to acquire, to achieve. So advertisement will continue to change. The landscape will continue to change, but the practitioners, the job will remain the same. So the basic function of advertising, I believe you have known by now. One is to identify the brand and then try to disseminate the information about the brand and ultimately persuade that that particular brand should be the one consumers should adopt. That is the basic function of advertising. They first of all identify the brand and then they disseminate the information about that particular brand and then they persuade consumers that, hey, that brand is what you need to choose. That is advertising. So we know that advertising, three things that I want you to look at, all right? The change about the advertising landscape, that is the velocity is increasing. It is increasing. The velocity is increasing. It is on the daily basis. It is on the daily basis. And as a result of that, this is why you have the opportunity to look at the fundamentals of how to advertise. And then the advertising practitioner's job also remains the same. Selling goods, services, and ideas. And the functions also remain the same. Identifying the brand, disseminating the information, and then persuading people about why a particular brand is the best. But one thing that keeps changing and I keep stressing is the platform, the vehicle, the media, the advertising vehicle, the media vehicle continues to change and it continues to increase in velocity. Having said all of these, I want us to look at two more things and then we can bring down the curtain. So now we know what influencer marketing is. So we know that it is celebrity endorsees or endorsers that are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to promote products on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, etc. So please take note of that. They are celebrity endorsers who are paid hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. We know Kim Kardashian. She's taking not less than $500,000 for any endorsement, product endorsement. 500,000. If Kenya West, Kenya, this one is Kenya, Ghana. If Kenya, Ghana, Rosemary, Kenya, should get this money, what will you do with it? Rosemary. Rosemary. You won't talk. Rosemary, are you in the class? Or she's gone? Jeffrey, if you should get $100,000, what will you do with it?
So investment.
Invest it into what? Where are you going to invest it? Talk to me. When you talk about investment, what do you mean? Talk to us. Yes, Jeffrey.
Maybe I'll buy.
Jeffrey, say you'll be. You buy shares
Shares
from
from a company.
you buy shares from a company. Okay.
Yes, please.
Then what else? That's all.
No, I can't invest for them. Maybe some for children.
So Ghana ni abrantie. E man sam kwa aninsa noa. Ghana ni abrantie. E man sam kwa. Hey, you are in the university. I believe you will release some car, latest car, and just be disturbing the girls on campus. Omo do weekend and they come do, you know. They don't know where to pass. So if they can see somebody who with a free money, of course they'll be following you, Jeffrey. Okay. You want to ask us too late. So you see, it's also one of the reasons why many African men are not making money. Many African men are not making money because of that. They don't take time to build wealth. Any small thing they get, they think they have arrived. Na emana jini nyina di ama wo. Ema no ma jini nyina di. Ema sam kwa kosia sam basa. So it's the reason why Ghanaian men are not making money. They see a lot of money a day, but they are not making money because they don't take time to build their wealth. Now, if you take people like Mark Zuckerberg and etc., Elon Musk and etc., Charlie, these guys have made so much money. Then they get to a stage where they can even try to go underground, come and tell us that they are divorcing, or because they want other women. They want other women, so they take money. They have the money. They have built the resources already, and even when they are sleeping, the amount of money they get sleeping, huge in millions, back in millions. But as an African man, we have not invested nothing. We are not investing into any profitable ventures and areas. The small one that has come into your hands too, and you are just squandering it. So we are not getting billionaires rise as a result of this. We don't know how to make use of money. We don't know how to invest money. When we get money, small money, we buy big cars, we buy big shoes, we buy big panties, we buy big things, and then we buy big women. That's all. Those are the things. And so you can't make money. So those of you who want to become billionaires, begin to think. Let your brains come alive and begin to think and think appropriately so that it will help you. If you don't think appropriately, Charlie, it won't help you. Leslie, are you here? Leslie, are you here?
Say I'm here.
Jeff, are you sure you're in the class?
Yes, sir.
So what were you doing that I kept mentioning your name and you were not responding?
I didn't hear.
You didn't hear me.
There's the network. Sometimes it goes and comes.
Hey, I'm on for. So I didn't hear you. You are here that you didn't hear me. So all that I said, it means you made up your mind that you don't want to hear it.
Oh, say I heard your lecture sentence. The 100,000 and I heard it.
You and I said somebody is making hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, from
Yeah.
endorsement, from endorsement.
Let's
So if you should get some, what will you do with it? And I'm watching him say the first thing you do is a mason.
say you didn't say that one.
No, who said it? You didn't say who said it. Ask
Jeff,
David. David, ask
Jeff.
you ask David. David will tell you the same thing.
No, I'm not like them.
So you are like who?
Like my dad.
Like your dad. Okay. It's economical with money, eh? That was great. I love to hear that. So I believe that the rest of the gentlemen are going to be economical with money, save money, build millions, and build wealth so that we can have billionaires coming out of Ghana who will actually be taking care of the needs of people. Now we want to look at the this item. We want to look at the advertisers toolbox or toolkit. We want to look at the types of advertisers or advertising that is there, the types of advertising or forms, etc. We want to look at all of those things. So when we talk about the advertisers, then we are talking about the media vehicles, okay, that are available to advertisers to disseminate information. We are talking about what? The media vehicles available to advertisers to disseminate their information. We can talk about product packaging, which is an information. We can talk about names or name mentions. We can talk about product placement in movies and TV shows. Today, most of the movies that are coming out have product placement. If you have only been watching human beings and watching human beings throughout, you will not notice this. But if you are really particular about watching movies, you'll be seeing some of these things. You'll be seeing product placement. You see in the movies, some products have been placed in it and they talk about it. You see even you can see the cast actually mentioning most of these products, even buying them. They are placed. So if you have in the movie people eating a particular product, don't think that they are eating for eating sake. It has been paid for. It has been paid for. So you see them go to a particular hotel, it has been paid for. They pay for it. This time, even hotels are looking for stars, movie industries to come and cast in their hotels to showcase their hotels. Gone were the days when these movie industries will go and pay them to use their facilities. This time round, they are rather looking for them so that they can pay them. Can you imagine? So we talk about product placement in movies, TV shows, everything on the internet, everything on the internet. Traditional television, you can talk of radio, print, outdoor, native advertising. So you can see even native advertising, you can see advertising that appears as editorials. We have public relations, we have sales promotion, personal selling, sport sponsorship, social media, etc. All of these are information. They are information that are disseminated using media vehicles. So basically, everything you can think of, and many that even we don't know today, they are all part of the advertiser's toolkit. They are all part. So the advertiser utilizes all of these to maximize sales for the brand. Sales for the brand. So please take note of it. So the types of advertising that we will mention basically involves what you are seeing here. So we have brands, we have local, we have business to business, we have retail, we have direct response, we have institutional or corporate, we have non-for-profit, we have the public service. Each of these we can discuss briefly. If we talk about brand, then you are talking about consumer advertising. You are talking about consumer advertising. Anytime a branded product is advertised to consumers, generally in mass media, it is known as what? Brand advertising. So brand advertising, generally, they are done through media, the mass media. So that is when you are advertising thinking of consumers. So you are looking at a branded product that is being advertised to consumers directly. A branded product. It is called brand advertising. Then we have the business to business. It is also a type of advertising. Business to business or trade advertising occurs as one company tries to reach another company to sell its goods or services. So today you can have one company trying to sell its goods or services to another company. Most especially you can have these telecommunication service providers. They won't come to you, the individual. They design products that they go to the companies to buy directly from them. Recently, I saw one product that MTN actually designed for companies. So MTN is a business, and then they develop a particular product, an internet service in the form of these router gadgets that the company can buy station. And it's very effective. They sold it for only 500 Ghana cedis. It's even finished. If you are looking for it, you can't get it. So that product was actually designed for other businesses to buy. So that's what we call the business to business advertising. So as business to business or B2B decisions, as B2B decisions are generally made very differently than consumer decisions. So the decisions that are made regarding to that are different, because oftentimes the monies that are involved are huge, or the monies that are transacted for such advertising are huge. So it is beneficial if people who understand this world make such decisions. Okay, then we have the retail. The retail, as the name goes, is where brand advertising tries to use brand reputation over a long period. So retail advertising is trying to build a foot traffic into a store to impart sales now. So you see, retail will use the store system. So you buy and sell, you buy and buy and sell, and buy and sell, buy and sell. So you think of the fast food, they are all retail services. You want to buy certain shoes, you may not need to go to a distributor. You go to the retailers, and the brands are well articulated. You can see them for yourself. You can see the action. You can foot into them, and that is it. You are gone. So you talk about fast food, you talk about car dealers, you talk about clothing stores. All of these are retail services, or they use retail services. So these ads often carry incentives. So special price off sales, you will go and then it is posted. You have a small poster on the shop that's a 50% off this phone, 20% off this gadget, 15% of this gadget. Then sometimes they can even give you a time frame. So okay, at the end of March or 6th March or a particular social event. For instance, Monday will be 1st May, and you see 1st May, you will see other companies or some companies trying to use these way or methods that you can get our products in this particular shop, this, that, Kasua, Legon, this at this percentage off, 20% off, rush and get yours right now. Sometimes they can tell you, oh, you can get it only at this mall. That is retail marketing. Okay, then we have the direct response. The direct response is when an ad is asking the consumer to buy a product here and now from the manufacturer and not through a store. That's direct response. For instance, Central University actually has what we call the on-the-spot admission. The on-the-spot admission is a direct response marketing or advertising, because you are asking your student consumers or your student customers or the prospective customer to get admission right now. Come with all your qualifications, come with your certificate, come with your WASI result, come with any result that you have in mind. You don't need to buy the admission and wait for a very long time. No, you just come with that. Come and sit with us. Let's talk. So one-on-one, we'll look at your result, check what program are you looking for or are you applying to. Okay, say I want business administration marketing option. Look at your passes, your WASI passes, English, Maths, and Science. Okay, Charlie, the girl is good to go. We'll look at 3 other elective. Wow. Oh, Charlie, then you are good to go. You qualify. All right. We pick your details, type into the computer system, print out admission letter to you on the spot. Then you go away. So you don't need to wait for 1 month, 2 months, waiting for admission letter, calling any office and etc. That is what we call direct response marketing. So it's a type of advertising that is called direct response. When you ask your consumers to buy the product right here, right now from us, don't wait. Don't go to any intermediary. Don't go to the store. Don't go online. Just come to us right here, right now. We give it to you. Okay. So we also have the direct mail. All of them are part of that. Then the information commercials, and much of what is presented on the internet follows the direct response. So you can go to the internet right now or social media right now, and then you see a shoe, right? It's okay, buy it from us right now. I just bought a book from for my son. There's this book that is advertised on social media, especially on is this what you call, not all the social media, on Facebook for children from 1 year 6 months going. So there's this set of books, 10 set or 11 set of books that is being advertised, and very effective. They are employing very effective advertising strategy. I tell you, order right now. Oh, I ordered last weekend, Friday, Thursday. I didn't even know that it will come that fast. Then 3 days ago, I was called. Charlie, the books are ready. We are bringing them to you. 5 days. Direct response. 5 days. I was called. They didn't tell me to pay any money. They just said, we are bringing you the books. Where can we find you? Where can we locate you? And I directed them straight to my house. They brought it. The dispatch rider brought it. And I paid him the money and took the books. This is called direct response. Okay, you need a shoe, you can do same. Then we have the institutional or corporate advertising, institutional or corporate advertising. So anytime we talk about institution, we talk, for example, a hospital, a school like Central University, or a corporation like a pharmaceutical company. Anytime we are talking about institution, then that is what we mean. So institution or a corporate organization that advertises on behalf of themselves to build a public trust. Okay, then you are dealing with institutional or corporate advertising. This is institutional or corporate advertising, as I have mentioned. So this type of advertising has quite a bit, okay, in common with public relations. So it's just closer to public relations. So you have even Central University running its own advertisement. We call it institutional advertising. Then we have non-profit advertising. Non-profit. So advertising on behalf of a non-profit organization to raise funds is an example of non-profit advertising. Do you know any? For instance, you have is it Kolebu Cardio something center? Is it cardio? So let's say, for instance, you decide to help an organization, which is a non-profit organization, to raise funds to meet its needs. What you are doing is a non-profit advertising. Non-profit advertising. An example is the Amnesty International. They raise awareness of particular causes. So these kind of advertisement require specific expertise in knowing how to build public trust. For example, when you are in a car, all right, when you are in a car and then you are traveling anywhere in Accra, maybe from Malam Junction to La Paz, and then around this Kwashiman overhead, you will see these people who carry some boxes with one particular uniform. I don't know whether it's blue and black or something of the sort. who will be holding some posters of children with certain abnormal development or diseases and etc. who need special treatment or special surgery. Okay, then you see the deformities in these children. Such kind of advertisement, it is creating a certain kind of awareness, all right, for an organization. Okay, maybe sometimes they do it on behalf of organization. Maybe the Kolebu something. Kolebu has a particular unit that a number of groups try to do that for. We call it non-profit advertising. Okay. Then we have the public service advertising. The public service advertising tries to change unhealthy behavior. For example, smoking. So if a company wants to try to change a particular behavior and say, hey, too many people are smoking too much, so let's try to change that behavior. It is called public service advertising. And a lot of companies are going into that recently. For example, promoting a positive societal cause like education, girl child education. Today you can hear a lot of companies supporting girl child education. So they can run those adverts and etc. on some media platforms, and they will even not pay for it because it is regarded that they are encouraging a certain positive societal cause. It's an advertising on its own. That is public service. So for instance, some of you here, you may want to cultivate a certain personalities for yourself, maybe using social media channels, right? And then you decide that you want to go into public service advertising. So you will build content around that. And then you'll be posting those content, short content, and then be posting them on YouTube. You'll be developing followers. Okay, you'll be developing followers who'll be subscribing and next. So over time, you have become an influencer. So that kind of advertising is called public service. Anytime you are advertising to change unhealthy behavior, anytime you are advertising to promote positive societal cause, anytime you're advertising to inspire a societal change, you are doing a public service advertisement. Please take note of that. So inspiring societal change, example is the LGBTQ acceptance. You know, there are organizations who say, okay, we will don't segregate among sexualities. Okay, we also don't segregate against the LGBTQ, etc. What they are doing is public service. They want to look good in the eyes of everybody, and they want to be accepted by everybody. They are doing that because of money. It's public service. It's public service. Okay. So normally these adverts, they run for free. As I told you earlier, public service advertising, they run for free. They can even be put on GTV, on Metro TV, on TV3, any organization that know how to build such huge content and then pass it on. I'm telling you, you'll make a lot of money because they begin to see you. You're advertising yourself by using a particular societal cause to do so. It will be free for you. You won't pay anything for it. But by the end of the day, you are going to maximize your sales. Okay. So, any question with regard to the different types of advertising that we have, the different type of advertising. Then lastly, we'll look at the types of advertising agencies. Okay, we are going to look lastly at the types of advertising agencies. So this is what we are looking at, advertising agencies. So these are the types of advertising agencies there are. So we need to look at them briefly. So we have the full service advertising agency. We have the in-house advertising agency. We have the creative boutique, the creative we have the creative boutique, we have the strategic planning, we have the media planning and buying, we have the specialist, we have the product specialist, we have the target audience specialist, we have the marketing consultancies. All of these are types of advertising agencies. So let's look at the first one, and a few of them. Probably I may have to let you read on the rest. So let's look at the first one, that is the full service advertising agencies. When we talk about full service advertising agency, we are talking about an agency that provides clients with every service that they could want. Every service the client could want. For example, they provide services covering research and strategy, to creative development, and to production, to media selection planning and buying. All of these under one roof is called full service advertising. So full service advertising and advertising agencies, they do all of this. They do all of this. They will start from the research strategy. If you give it to them to run an advert for you, you should bear in mind that they are going to charge you covering all of this. They are going to do research to find out about your consumers and find out about the efficiency of that particular brand. Then they will craft a strategy for you. Then they will come and do the creative development, which include the copywriting, all of that, what I spoke about a few, I think a week ago or so. All right. So they carry out all of that. Then they will also carry out the production, and come to the media selection, whether to advertise on Facebook, and then at the same time on radio, a particular radio, or advertise on a particular TV. They will do all of that because they would have carried all of those strategies for you. And then they will buy the time on the media vehicle on your behalf. So they are called full service advertising agencies. We don't have full service advertising agencies in Ghana. We don't have any. We don't have any. They claim that they are. The few I have watched, they claim that they are, but I really don't see that. I think I gave you a list of all the advertising agencies in Africa. I posted that on the main platform. The main platform, I posted that. And I do believe that you just watch it. I don't think many of you try to even click on those links to see what is happening. So I'm placing it here again. So advertising agencies directory in Africa. So from Ghana, all the advertising agencies in Ghana, you will find them in that directory. All the advertising agency in Nigeria, you'll find them there. So let's say, for instance, you are an advertiser, you are a specialist, you want to choose a particular media vehicle for a particular company or multinational company who have trusted you that you should be in charge of the advertising portfolio in West Africa. The advertising portfolio in Africa, in West Africa. It means that all the 16 countries in West Africa are under your authority. That means a lot of money. It's a huge money for you. So you need to really understand. So those of you who want to go into those areas, understand it very well. And probably they chose you because you are operating as a full service advertising agency, right? So you are going to do this. You need to know all the agencies that are also in this country so that you know what to craft. If you have to go in liaison with all of these, you can also particularly do that. So an example of a full service advertising agency is Wyden and Kennedy. Wyden and Kennedy. Let me give you example here. So let me type it here for you. So full service. Full service. So the full service, let me give you an example. So the full service, so that is, I've given you an example there. So full service advertising agency, example is Wyden and Kennedy. So I've given you their link. Then we come to in-house advertising agencies. When we talk about in-house advertising agencies, we are talking specifically about actually organizations that own their own advertising, okay? They create in-house advertising agency. So you can have an organization that will create an in-house advertising agency. Normally, they function as a department within the company, all right? Normally, they function as a department within the company. So in-house agencies tend to go in and out of favor. In-house agencies are currently making a lot of money. So if you talk about what do you call it, Apple used to have Apple has an in-house agency, and they are standing out now. Spotify, Facebook, all of them. You have fashion companies like Ralph Lauren, whose adverts I've given you to watch a couple of times. They all have in-house agencies that run their adverts for them. In-house ad agencies. So an in-house agency can be more effective than an independent agency. The reason is that they work within the same marketing team at the same location. They can be faster, less expensive, and simpler for a marketer to work with than working with an independent agency would be. On the downside, that is a disadvantage. They rarely attract the very best creative talents, right? Because it is an in-house, if talents are not interested in that particular company, it means that you will not get those good talents coming in. They won't come. If they also know that the company doesn't pay well, that company is known that they don't pay well, they won't come. So that is a disadvantage. The disadvantage is that they don't get very best creative talent who tend to want to work on a variety of brands and business challenges. Because it's an in-house, they don't want to do that. Because there are some creative talents, what they want to do is that they want to actually have the experience with working with variety of brands. So they want to work with Unilever, they want to work with Goldfields, they want to work with Apple, they want to work with Nissan. They want to try their talent across board on variety of brands. Okay, so if they should come and work in-house, work with an agency that is an in-house agency, they wouldn't want it because they think the skills they are aspiring for, they are not going to get it, so they will not come. So the most important thing is that in-house agencies often lack the unbiased perspective of independent agencies to really hear consumers. So an in-house agency, whatever they put out, they think that it should be accepted. If you criticize it, they will not even budge. They are always biased about what they have come out with. But independent agencies, what consumers say, they factor consumers' words appropriately. They factor that. Okay. So let's look at the 2019 in-house agency of the year, according to Ad Age in the Chobani. In Ghana, most of the companies, they don't have in-house agencies. So let me give you what I posted in the Ad Age. The Ad Age, what they published about the 2019 in-house agency of the year record. You can see that. Then we have what we call the creative boutique, advertising agency. A creative boutique only produces creative. Okay, that is the only thing they do. Creative boutique, they only produce creative. They don't conduct research. They don't plan, and they don't buy media or run campaigns. They don't do any of that. Theirs is only about producing creativity. Generally, they create the advertising and hand it off to their client to run and track. That's what they do. They will create it for you, and then you will go and run and track it yourself. Okay, they'll create. So that is the only thing they produce, just to create it for you. Once they create, you pay them their money, take your thing, go away. Like for instance, if you are running a business and you give it to, you want a jingle, all right? And you give the jingle to this studio guy and they create a jingle for you. You pay them. After you pay them, they bring you the jingle. So wherever you want to go and run it, it's up to you. So you can take the jingle to maybe YouTube to play it for you. I say YouTube, to take it to a radio station to play it for you. And you go and pay the radio station also differently. So the creative boutique, theirs is just to produce. So those of you who think that this is a good business, you want to go at it, Why don't you make some time, read around it, study the business strategy, and try to create something? If you need further consultation on that, you can contact me on it. So that is all that they do. They only produce. So as a group, as a class, you can decide to even team up and develop a business. I don't see this happening in our country. You see students taking very important courses and then they just pass, get A, and then they leave the system. They cannot eat. It doesn't even go into them. You look at the way even I take this course with you. Very practical. I give you scenarios. We are on the internet. We are seeing it ourselves. We are seeing what is happening. All of these should challenge you to say, Charlie, this thing should give me an advantage to try to look at something. And the course I teach in the university, that's how I teach it. I go through a practical orientation to see how best my student can utilize it and gain benefit out of it. Apart from going to write exam, passing it, getting the grades, their preferred grades, by the close of the day, they should be able to develop business around that as well. So Creative Boutique, some of you or the whole class can decide actually, why don't we come together and think about a business? Last week, I discussed that and I said it, that even from class to class, let's say mutual weekend student come together, or Mateko weekend student, all the student group together, develop a business. Because you want to do it as a team, it will make you more efficient. So you will study your givings, or you can study the values that you want to actually provide to consumers or to customers or etc. And then you build a business around it. As a team, you register a business, you can complete your university and go, and you still stay in touch as business partners, making money from organizations and companies. You don't need to finish marketing major and then come out looking for a job when you cannot create something for yourself. So you guys begin to think. The internet is available and you can do a lot out of it. Some of you are skillful in these online processes and etc. Make your skills available. Come together as a team. Don't just be coming to class to pass exams and go. Come together. Think about how to make this profession, cultivate a profession out of this. All right. So talking about the Creative Boutique, that is it. So this arrangement can provide advantages to some clients who want really excellent creative work, but who want to manage all the other functions of running and tracking advertising successes themselves. So an example of a Creative Boutique is Baldwin and the Relay. They are actually in New York. You find them in New York. So let me give their website to you. You can go there and read more about them. Look at what they do. So Creative Boutique, I'm giving you something there. So as I've said, there are some customers or clients, they want you just to create the advert for them so that they own the advert themselves. And they will go and run it on a TV, on a radio, online, etc. They want to own it themselves so that when they are running it, they can track it themselves. Because when you have an agency starting from research and all of that, they do all of that for you, they create it for you, they will run it for you, and they will do the tracking also for you as to whether it is effective or not. And they will tell you that if we run it and we see this number of people actually following or doing this, we'll charge you this amount of money. All of these go into the agreement package. Okay, but there are some clients, they are not interested in that. They are not interested in you conducting research for them. They are not interested in you planning it for them. They are not interested in you buying the media for them. They are not also interested in you running the campaigns for them. They want to do all of that themselves. So yours is, as an agency, yours is create it for me. This is what I want. Create that for me. Finish. Once you do that, they are gone. Okay. Then we have the strategic planning agencies. We are the strategic planning agencies. So should your brand advertise at all? Okay, they will have to look at it for you. So if you get all your strategic planning advice from an ad agency, okay, then what you are doing is you are going to pay for that service. You want to find out, okay, the brand I am developing, do you think I should actually advertise it? If you want that question answered, there are agencies in charge of that. I think I didn't give you the creative boutique. I didn't give you the link, so let me give it to you. Did I give you the in-house? In-house. I think my guys are not following. The creative boutique. What is available? So you have Badwin, which is example of creative boutique. And then I think I mentioned the in-house advertising, where I said the Ad Age published the in-house agency of the year in 2019. I want you to see some of the in-house agencies and see if the popular ones you know or those you know, you will have some of them in there. In-house agency. So in-house example is that. That is in-house. So the in-house, you'll find it here. So these Ad Age, they publish them. So you can click on it and see some of the in-house agencies on it. Then we have the strategic planning. So the strategic planning, DS is to plan for you. Okay. So they do the planning. You will get all your planning advice from an agency. So the chances are paid. Okay. The chances are paid advertising will be the solution to your marketing solution. So they tell you all of that. The idea of completely independent planning company came when people realized the inherent conflict of interest at an advertising agency. So strategic planning agencies simply try to figure out what a marketer should do to solve a marketing problem. That is when it came in, and that is what they do. So once they have figured out what the marketer should do or say, a strategic planning agency will pass that along to another company to actually create the advertising and place it in the media. So an example is Red Scott. Red Scott. Red Scott is an excellent example of strategic planning agency. So you can read more on them and then try if, for instance, you want to know more about these. I'm giving you these examples so that it will help you to establish your knowledge sufficiently. So we have the strategic planning. So let me write it strategic. The strategic planning agency, I've given you an example there. So an example is Red Court. Please read more on them. Then we have the media planning and buying agencies. So the media planning, as the name goes, so you can go there to, they are also independent companies. But you see, as I am mentioning these, all of these, if you are talking about the full service, all of these are part of the full service. They have all of these in place. But you can also decide to get them separately. So these are independent companies that plan and buy media for clients because they view media as a commodity product. So they tend to be very large to consolidate all their client budget so they can buy in bulk and get their clients the very best prices. So media agencies, these exploded in the 1990s. And today, they account for the vast majority of all media placement in United States, especially. One of the best in the business is the Horizon Media. I believe you have heard of Horizon Media. They have an outlet in Ghana here, the Horizon Media. So they are example of media planning and buying agency. So let me give you that link as well. So media planning and buying. So that is an example I have posted there for you. So guys, try as much as possible to go over these issues. Then we have the specialist agencies. The specialist agencies, so we talk about the digital agencies, social media agencies, and mobile marketing agencies. So today we have them scattered all around. So you see that, oh, we are specialists in social media agencies. There are a number of them. I think last week I posted one from Ghana. And so if you look at the directory, you will find them in there. So a number of them. So we have them there. I'm not getting your responses. So we have the specialist agencies. There are plenty of them. I think one of them was the made mention of last week. Third floor, the third floor agency. The third floor agency is found in Kenya. Third floor agency. They are specialist agencies. So they say we are solely for social media, and that's what they are into. Then we have those who are only into mobile marketing, marketing only. They are specialists in that. So they specialize in creating content for specific mediums. So example is the laundry service, and then the third floor, which I mentioned earlier. So you can find them. Then we have the product specialist agencies. So product specialist agencies. These involve pharmaceutical industries who actually abide by special rules. And without that, there are problems. So if you don't understand those rules, you will be flouting their rules and you can run into trouble. So they actually go into specialist production. So we have the specialist produce advertising targeting doctors. So we come to the advertising industry, you have the specialists who actually produce advertising to target doctors and their patients for different prescription drug, etc. If you have heard of Rocan for Cadillac, if you have heard of Cadillac, okay, so Rocan for Cadillac, and then we have Nissan United for Nissan. All of these are product specialists agencies. Then you also have Media Art Lab for Apple. Media Art Lab for Apple. So Media Art Lab is a specialist agency that actually runs for Apple. Then we have We Are Unlimited for McDonald's. We Are Unlimited is also a specialist agency. They run for McDonald's. Okay. Then we have the target audience specialist agencies. Target audience specialist agencies. Target audience. So there are those who, for instance, will say, okay, we only market for African Americans or African communities or multinational advertising agencies like Translation. We have Hispanic agencies like the Community. African American advertising agencies like Barrel Communication. They are specialists for groups. For groups. So agencies targeting Asian Americans, you can have them there. Then we have agencies targeting only LGBTQI, etc. They are all there. So these are target audience specialists. So they only advertise for audience. They are specialists in targeting audience, particular audience. We want only African communities in Britain. Okay, so there's a group that will do that for you. They are agencies that are specialists in that. Okay, we can get all the Africans. Okay, we can get all the West Africans in Britain to actually buy this product. So you will need a target audience specialist agency to do that for you. So you want to reach out to all Ghanaians in America. You need a target audience specialist agency to do that for you. Okay. Then we have the marketing consultancies. The marketing consultancies. Example is the Accenture, if you have heard of Accenture, Deloitte and Touche, then Epsilon. All of them are marketing consultancies. So you can consult them for whatever you want. Then we have the marketing agency holding companies, which I mentioned a number of them earlier. So I mentioned the WPP. So they are the largest. They are the largest. So if you have heard of Ogilvy, Ogilvy operates in Ghana. I think I went there earlier. Ogilvy Africa. Ogilvy Africa. They also have full service. So they are found in Nairobi, but they also have outlets in Ghana here. I think I even saw something on a Ghanaian who was appointed, a Ghanaian who won something recently. Yes, here is it. It said, Ogilvy Africa, we are proud to announce that one of our own, Lesi Bene Muhale, Group Creative Director, Ghana, Group Creative Director Ghana, has been appointed a channel jury member at this year's Picture Awards. So you see, as I've told you, the holding companies own agencies from country to country. And I just mentioned that the WPP, they own Ogilvy, they own Grade, they own GWT, they own Y&R. So you can find more about this one. If you talk about Omnicom, Omnicom is based in New York. They also own TBWA, DDB, BBDO, and several hundred others. If you talk about Publicis, Publicis is based in Paris. WPP is based in London, as I mentioned earlier. So we have Publicis, they are based in Paris. So they also own Leo Burnett Company, Fallon, Saatchi and Saatchi, and etc. Then you can talk about Interpublic Group. They are also based in New York. Their revenue per year is 9.7 billion. I think I didn't mention for others. When you come to WPP, their revenue is 16.7 billion. And then when you come to the Omnicom, their revenue per year, annually, is 15.3 billion. That's a lot of money. Then you talk about Publicis, 11.7, and then you talk about the Interpublic Group based in New York. Their revenue is 9.7 billion. They own McCann Erickson, Dutch, FCB, and Goodbye Silverstein. If you have heard of Silverstein, Silverstein and Partners, I've taught a lot about them in critical thinking. So Silverstein and Partners, and hundreds of others. So you can go online and find out about the holding companies, the largest holding companies. I've mentioned about 5 of them. Most of the agencies they own, you can also find them in Africa. I just made reference to Ogilvy, which is owned by WPP. They are the richest and they are the largest. Okay, so these are the holding companies who also function as agencies. So the holding company in itself is also an agency, but just that they own so many agencies under them. So they are bigger than just an agency. So these companies, they are the biggest, and they hold the majority of advertising that are placed in the world around the globe, including Ghana here. The largest multinational advertiser is the Procter & Gamble. So those of you who will want to work with the multinational advertisers like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Toyota, you are in good place, and you can go very far. So start cutting your international experiences right now. Start reading broadly. Start looking for what they look for. Look out for what Procter & Gamble look for. So, for instance, in level 200, we are about to just vacate. If you have taken the IELTS exam or TOEFL exam, you can be looking out for internships with these companies. You can look out for internship with this company, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Toyota. This is the time to start looking out for this. So please stand up and begin to do something profitable for yourself. All right. So on the whole, this is where I will end my lecture. Please, if you have a question, I will encourage you to ask your question. Our time is up now. Thank you very much. Any question? Richard, any question? Leslie, any question?
Sir, please, no question.
Rosemary, any question? Immaculate, any question? Okay. So I'm grateful to all of you for your time for the lecture. I wish you the very best. Thank you very well. I will make the recording available to you so you can access it later. And those of you who did not get so many things, you can review the recording and then gain a lot more from it. I'm grateful for your attendance. God bless you all. Have a good day and bye-bye.